Have you ever sensed that you're slowly being left out? Not directly, not openly, that will just gradually. It doesn't begin with confrontation. No one announces it. No one says you don't belong. The shift happens in the margins. Why you're slowly being left out rarely starts with rejection. It starts with subtle redistribution of attention. A plan is mentioned after it's already half-formed. A conversation continues without looping you back in. An inside reference appears that you weren't part of. Each moment is small enough to rationalize. You tell yourself it's timing. You tell yourself it's coincidence. But the pattern accumulates. What it feels like internally is quiet displacement. You notice you're speaking less. You hesitate before contributing. You begin scanning for confirmation that you're still included. That scanning becomes visible, even if you think it isn't. Exclusion in groups is rarely aggressive. It is passive recalibration. Attention flows toward perceived centrality. If your contributions receive slightly less engagement over time, others unconsciously adjust to that distribution. The group stabilizes around who generates momentum and who absorbs silence. Often this isn't malicious. Groups prioritize efficiency and alignment. If someone's energy appears uncertain or slightly peripheral, the system reorganizes around what feels stable. Exclusion can happen without intention, but the structural effect is the same. Notice how invitation patterns shift. You're informed rather than consulted. You're updated rather than involved. Decisions appear finalized instead of discussed. No single moment is decisive. The repetition is. The psychological mechanism behind slow exclusion is signal weighting. Groups amplify signals of confidence and compress signals of hesitation. If your tone softens, if your presence contracts, if you overcorrect after minor friction, the weighting adjusts. Watch what happens when silence follows your comment. Do you fill it quickly? Do you qualify your statement? Do you retract slightly? Those micro-adjustments teach the group how firmly you hold space. Left out rarely means unwanted. It often means repositioned. Social systems constantly reorganize around perceived value flow. Who anchors conversations? Who initiates plans? Who remains steady when attention fluctuates? These patterns shape proximity. When inclusion begins to thin, the instinct is often to pursue, to increase availability, to offer more, to smooth tension. But pursuit under contraction can accelerate repositioning because it signals dependency on external validation. Notice instead the internal moment when you first felt the shift. That perception wasn't random, it was a recognition of changing signal distribution. Once you begin observing exclusion as structural drift rather than personal rejection, the pattern becomes clearer. What felt confusing starts revealing its logic, and when the logic becomes visible, the dynamic no longer feels invisible.